Let me bring this up before it slips my mind. When you talk about the people, the card readers not reading your fingerprint or thumbprint,
a chance for whatever reason, yes.
I think if I remember properly, INEC did say that, yes, there are cases that in case the card reader is not able to read either your card or your thumbprint, they'll get you the incident forms.
Yes,
and so when they fill those incident forms, you still will attach it and then fill in the number of those who have been accredited before voting. How does that help rigging?
You see, I have seen a lot of things happen. The reason why you are using PVCs is so that those who did not register don't vote. Huh? Now, imagine a situation. There's an advert that's been going on about a young man that died during the last 2011 elections, and he said, thank God that they wanted us to give out the unused voter cards, but thank God for the police and my colleagues who we refused to do so. Now you have a situation, we've had a situation where people are printing voter cards even before the election or after the election to change the result. The reason why using of PVCs and card readers is important is so that only those who voted recognize the actual person votes. So that out of that pool of 68-point-something million, only within that pool can you get the electorate. There are a lot of people outside who want to vote but who did not register. Okay, you understand me? So anything that might create room for somebody who did not register to come in and vote, I'm suspicious of. And I believe that those forms is possible with that. I would prefer that only those people with their PVCs, the picture is clear, you come, they recognize you, and your fingerprint is clear, vote. Let's eliminate, because there's even the talk about people who are, I don't know how they put it, whether amputees or whatever, I don't know how they're going to register. So I would prefer that for election as keenly contested as this, let's be strict, just PVCs. This is what INEC has said. Let there be nothing else. Let there be no special. If your card doesn't register,
okay, let's move away from the PVCs and look at voter education, for instance, in terms of preparations. Do you think there's been enough voter education?
I don't even see any. Forward? I don't see any voter education. All the voter education you see is on social media. It's the people educating themselves. But focused voter education, especially by INEC, like this when somebody passed the information that don't rub cream because it might interfere with the card reader, your fingerprint being read properly. Things like that. These are things INEC is. A lot of people are uneducated. Even how the card reader works. It was when I traveled with this person that I even saw a card reader and saw how it works. Do you understand? And so things like that, I don't see enough voter education. That's my take on that.
What margin of error are you going to give, or are you not giving any at all? Because I did hear the chairman think, if is it 503 cards, that's about 0.003%. He says, well, faulty, but they will do something about all of those. What margin of error are you willing to give, either for distribution of PVCs or cards not being read by card readers, or even logistics for the elections?
If you ask me, I would say, for me, I would work towards 100%. But if I get 90, worst case 85%. Even distribution 85%.
That means you're on the same page with INEC. INEC says, yeah, if we get 85%, we'll be okay with the distribution.
Good, but the thing there is, I would, if you don't mind, I'd like us also to discuss issues of security. Because there are many issues that they've just left, they are not attending to. People have collected cards and withheld the cards. And they can give figures that people have collected. Meanwhile, voters don't have the cards. INEC is supposed to pay attention to it. INEC is supposed to use the mechanism of its spread to make sure that people don't withhold other people's cards. This is a very important thing, okay? So when you say you've got 85%, then you really have 85%. That's on that issue.
What about security?
Now, on the issue of security, day before yesterday on the network news, I saw on television lorries loaded with people's personal belongings from, I don't know whether it's Kano or wherever in the north, or Katsina or where. They were all moving to the south. Yes, people were saying, the governors were saying don't run, INEC was saying don't run, the political leaders were saying don't run. On the street, the people can sense the fear, can sense the danger to themselves. Two of my relations, in fact, all my relations, I I come from a very large family. From Birnin Kebbi to Borno, to Bauchi, to Kano, to Jos, to this. Most of them have relocated south. But the ones that have big businesses, you find the family head with a few people are still there because they have a big business. Okay. Now, one of my brothers in Kano said that on the day of election, he will not come out. That it's just not safe to come out. One of my sisters said on the day Buhari came to Kano, youths were all over the place, some of them with cutlasses, broad daylight. They stopped vehicles and put his poster on the vehicle. You've even seen on television, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the president, is campaigning. But in the crowd are people full. And when no matter what he says, it is say Buhari, to the point where they are throwing pure water at him. You see, we are playing with this election.
Don't we see a similar thing with
you see, the police are culpable. APC is saying that only the police should secure this election. When Mbu said here in Lagos that for one policeman killed, the police would shoot 20 of those people who killed the policeman. The police people shouted. But you see, if you are going to secure the population, you must act in such a way that people will know that it's better not to try anything.
So what's the point?
The point is, I monitored the Ondo election, and the military were in Ondo so much that the election went free, peacefully. The army didn't flog anybody. I only heard that there was a bit of fracas in the water in the riverine areas. The army didn't flog one person because everybody just behaved themselves. The police need to take effective measure. People should not be threatened the way people are being threatened in the north. You can bet you that this election as it is, if nothing is done about security, then the election has been practically compromised already because of fear of personal safety. Because non-indigenous may not come out to vote.
But you know that if the court says something about that, it's only the court that can overturn it. About deployment of security personnel or the army, as it is.
Well, you see,
it doesn't lie with the political party, does it?
I've been going through the Constitution on this matter, and I look at certain pronouncements of the courts, and sometimes I feel that these are biased pronouncements. They don't go to the core.
Bias?
Yes, they don't go to the core of the issues.
How?
Of issues of national safety, protection of fundamental rights, and stuff like that. Listen. In 2011, more than 1,000, close to, if not more than 1,000 people lost their lives. Lost their lives. We know that when major crises come, the police cannot handle it. And if you remember the last Osun State election, you could sense the palpable fear of violence between Omishore's people and Aregbesola APC. The military were in Osun. In fact, before the election, people were saying that it's like a police state. But the elections went free, no incident.
But the thing is, the courts rule based on what is before them and how councils are able to convince the court.
The Constitution has given
and that's
the
how
president,
they go. But
the Constitution gives the president the right for the application of the military,
Nigerian
armed forces.
We have to go. We're out of time. I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that. That's why we have to let it go today. Mr. Malo Mark is the national chairman of National Transformation Party. We'll be back in just a moment. Join us again.
Thank you.